Reproduction is a process in which organisms produce offspring that resemble themselves. This is what we call reproduction. Reproduction occurs in two main types: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, the fusion of male and female gametes is required. In asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes. In this lecture, I will discuss 15 key differences between sexual and asexual reproduction. So, let's get started. Difference number 1. The first difference between sexual and asexual reproduction is that sexual reproduction is called biparental. Asexual reproduction is called uniparental. Uni means one and bi means two. In sexual reproduction, two parents, male and female, are required, which is why it's called biparental. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is needed, which is why it's called uniparental. Difference number 2. In sexual reproduction, gametes are formed, whereas in asexual reproduction, no gametes are formed. In sexual reproduction, the male produces male gametes called sperm, and the female produces female gametes called eggs. Difference number 3. In sexual reproduction, the parents involve their germ cells, the cells responsible for reproduction, also called sex cells. For example, in males, the germ cell is sperm, and in females, it is ova. However, in asexual reproduction, the somatic cells, body cells of the parent are involved, not germ cells. So, in sexual reproduction, germ cells are involved, but in asexual reproduction, somatic cells are used. Difference number 4. In sexual reproduction, fertilization occurs. But in asexual reproduction, there is no fertilization. What is fertilization? I've already made a detailed lecture on fertilization, which you can watch on my channel. I'll also provide a link in the description. But to briefly explain, fertilization is a process in which the male and female gametes, meaning the male sperm and female ovum, fuse together to form a zygote. This process is what we call fertilization. Difference number 5. In sexual reproduction, the organisms have fully developed reproductive organs. But in asexual reproduction, reproductive organs are absent. In males, these organs produce sperm, and in females, they produce eggs. The organs responsible for producing eggs in females are called female reproductive organs, and the organs that produce sperm in males are called male reproductive organs. These organs are found in organisms that undergo sexual reproduction. Difference number 6. In organisms with sexual reproduction, both mitosis and meiosis types of cell division occur. But in organisms with asexual reproduction, only mitotic cell division occurs. What are mitosis and meiosis? I've made a detailed lecture on these topics, which you can watch on my channel. But to explain briefly, mitosis is the type of cell division that happens in the regular cells of the body. Meiosis, on the other hand, occurs in the germ cells, sperm in males and ova in females. Difference number 7. In sexual reproduction, the parents remain alive after the offspring is produced. The mother and father are still alive, and nothing happens to them. But in asexual reproduction, the original parent organism that reproduces often disappears after reproduction. Difference number 8. In sexual reproduction, the offspring produced is different from the parents. This means the offspring's appearance will differ from that of both the mother and father. However, in asexual reproduction, the offspring is 100% identical to the parent. The offspring in asexual reproduction is an exact clone of the parent. Do you know why are offspring in sexual reproduction different from their parents? This difference arises because of crossing over, which occurs in germ cells during meiosis. I've explained crossing over in detail in my meiosis lecture, but briefly crossing over is when some chromosomes from the mother and some from the father are exchanged, leading to a mix of genetic material. This process results in offspring that are similar to, but not identical to, their parents. In asexual reproduction, there is no crossing over. Only one parent contributes its chromosomes to the offspring, making them genetically identical. Difference number 9. In sexual reproduction, the offspring inherits characteristics from both parents because both male and female chromosomes contribute. Thus, the offspring inherits traits from both parents. But in asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved, so the offspring inherits only the characteristics of that parent. Difference number 10. In sexual reproduction, genetic material is mixed during meiosis through crossing over. But in asexual reproduction, the same genetic material is simply copied and inherited as it is by the offspring. Difference number 11. In sexual reproduction, the offspring produced multiplies very slowly, taking a lot of time. It doesn't happen quickly. But in asexual reproduction, since only one parent is involved, reproduction is much faster, and many offspring are produced in a short amount of time. Difference number 12. As I mentioned, sexual reproduction is slow, so the offspring produced in sexual reproduction are few in number. But in asexual reproduction, the process is rapid, and a larger number of offspring are produced. Difference number 13. In populations formed through sexual reproduction, the chances of evolution are very high. But in asexual reproduction, evolution doesn't happen. The reason for evolution in sexual reproduction is crossing over, which increases genetic diversity. But in asexual reproduction, since only one parent contributes chromosomes, there is no genetic variation, and evolution is not possible. Difference number 14. Here are some examples. In sexual reproduction, examples include syngamy, external fertilization, conjugation. In asexual reproduction, examples include bacterial fission, fragmentation, spore formation, and budding. Difference number 15. Sexual reproduction occurs in multicellular organisms like humans, animals, and higher plants. But asexual reproduction occurs in lower invertebrates, lower chordates, and prokaryotic microorganisms. Additionally, some eukaryotic single-celled and multicellular organisms reproduce asexually. Question for today: the process by which living organisms produce offspring of their own kind is called. Only a genius can answer in the comments below.